game my fault too for jinxing them on Tuesday?
Oh no, not your fault at all. This game is all on them. Preds lose 7-4 to the Colorado Avalanche Saturday afternoon in Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. Second straight game where the Preds score 4 goals in the game and they lose both of them. What are the chances of that happening? Thursday, yeah, I was just disappointed, but now I'm ticked. And my anger can be pretty much shared amongst a group of people. First off, the officials, what in the world was this game tonight? Either everything was getting called whenever there was a ticky-tack thing, or nothing was getting called at all in different parts of this game. Like, coming into this game, I should have seen Trenin having a big game against his former team, because this always seems to happen against his team with former Preds or rookies debuting. I don't know what it is of the psyche of this team, but when Trenin got that 5-4 goal, let's not gloss over the fact that Forsberg got fouled and there should have been a whistle preventing that goal from happening. But that's not to negate the fact that the Preds were already tumbling on their way to the loss with all those unanswered goals after they went up 4-2. First period should have been a sign of things to come. Yeah, the Preds were up 3-2, but they were being outshot 16-12. Less than a minute into the second period. Hey, great, the Preds have a 2-goal lead again with Gus Nyquist making it 4-2 Preds. Less than 2 minutes after that, though, just inside the Avs blue line, Ryan McDonagh makes contact with Ross Colton. And hey, for officials who officiated this game who may not have looked at the replay yet to have been corrected after this game, the primary point of contact was shoulder to head. Okay? It wasn't elbow to head. It was shoulder going through. At most, it should have been a 2-minute penalty. Plus the fact of McDonagh's history is he's not a dirty player. Hey, I applaud you for wanting to be safe, because for some reason in the NHL, you can't go from 2-minute minor to review to go to a 5-minute major. So you assess the 5-minute major, which allowed you to review it, and then you still called it a 5-minute major, forcing the Preds to play with 5D for the rest of the game. And with Ryan McDonagh out for over half of the game, I would assume there better not be a suspension tomorrow or Monday, or else Preds fans right. This game is suffice that McDonagh should be in the lineup on Tuesday against Boston. Preds, to their credit, only allow the 1 power play goal for the Avs to score. Arturi Lehkonen about halfway through, and then the rest of the penalty they successfully kill off. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe they'll be okay here. But nope, it eventually continues down the hill like avalanche for the Preds against the Avalanche, because late in the second period, Colton Sissons takes a hooking call. Cale Makar makes him and the Preds pay by tying the game. And then, like I said, late, under a minute to go in the second period, when the Preds were looking to just escape into their locker room in a tie game and maybe regroup, nope. The dagger ultimately in this game is Trenin's goal to make it 5-4. I got stuck watching the ass feed for a portion of this, because yet again, Telus in their wise wisdom cannot get their act together and have a good, clean audio feed from Bally Sports. I called to complain and they had the nerve to say, oh, it's the network. Well, why could I watch it clean cut online? It couldn't have been that much of a difference. No, it's on you, Telus, and it aggravates me how many times this season I've been disrupted from watching the Preds feed. So, punishment enough of seeing the Preds lose, I had to watch this game visually on the ass feed, but no way in hell am I listening to Mark Moser. So I had to watch it on a little delay of pausing the TV to sync it up with the signal online. In the third period, nothing of substance. The Preds were obviously gassed from the Coyotes game and now the Avs game, and playing a mile above sea level. Nate MacKinnon gets his 46th and 47th of the season. Forsberg's goal streak that he was on is snapped, and the Preds lose badly. 15 goals in 2 games, guys. Stop the bleeding, please, as the Avs win this one 7-4. Special teams, clearly the sign of who was a better team, and McDonagh was the signal that the Preds were not going to win this one. The Avs went 3 for 6 on the power play, and the Preds went 0 for 5. The McDonagh penalty was questionable. I am still upset at the officials for that, but this team needs to learn to galvanize either when they lose a player in a game due to injury, because that's going to happen from time to time in the playoffs. If you want to be a team that maybe upsets in the first round and maybe goes on a run, because, hey, stranger things have happened. Florida was one of the last teams into the playoffs last year, and they got to the Cup final. Or if you lose a player due to being tossed from the game, the guys around have to pick up the slack and galvanize themselves. This team needs to seriously wake up over the next 2 days off they have and get themselves ready for a hungry Boston Bruins team that is cruising in the Eastern Conference in contention for their division, much less the President's Trophy. This team continues to shoot themselves in the foot, as they could have done themselves a great favor by winning, along with the help they got in the out-of-town scoreboard. I don't know if you saw it, but Minnesota tried their magic with John Heinzel. Let me put my goalie in overtime to try and get the second point. Vegas stole the puck and made him pay for it, meaning Minnesota got bagel in terms of the standings and used up a game. Also, Winnipeg keeps losing. You could have closed the gap. You're still 4 points within third place. And with 8 games, it's still a possibility, as Ottawa did you a favor and went in there and won in regulation. And lo and behold, they actually were able to get a lead and not choke. San Jose went into St. Louis and beat them 4-0 in regulation, meaning the Preds' magic number in points to clinch a playoff spot is now down to 8. It could be down to 6 if you had won in any way possible. So with that game done with St. Louis, there is the possibility, and I will get to games on Monday coming up, that if Nashville can somehow beat Boston, Thursday with St. Louis coming to town could be a clinching scenario, because even though the Preds don't play until said game against Boston on Tuesday, there are 2 very important games for Preds fans I feel you should track on Monday. Edmonton goes into St. Louis. You have nothing to fear with how Edmonton finishes in the standings. Root for Edmonton to win that game in regulation to reduce the Preds' magic number to 6. As well, LA goes into Winnipeg. Now, I know we're still fighting for positioning in the wild card spot, potentially with LA. But considering the fact that we're so close to Winnipeg, I would think it's better if we root for LA to win that game in Winnipeg, because if LA goes up, they can't overtake us in the Central. They're in the Pacific. Let them deal with it against Vegas or Edmonton in that 2-3 spot. We want Winnipeg to get no points by the time we take to the ice again, especially considering that a week from Tuesday, we play Winnipeg one more time. Oh, and as well, LA is playing Calgary as we speak. Calgary is up 2-1. That would be even more of a factor to root for LA on Monday in Winnipeg, with no guilt for us to worry about if LA can burn a game played and get no points tonight in Calgary. But anyways, first things first, get back to playing Preds hockey on Tuesday night against Boston. At this point, I would take a loss against Boston on Tuesday night. Just make it a much more respectable one than these last 2 efforts. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. As always, click a like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really like it. You can find my social media where you can interact with me during every Preds game by clicking on a channel name. Tell all your friends about Redemption, and tell your friends all hope is not lost. This team is still going to the playoffs.